All right, you all, this is a very, very exciting time for me because I am swapping out my beloved journal, right? Every time at the beginning of the year, I order a new one, and it's here, right here. So I thought I'd do a little fun unboxing video. Those are big on YouTube. I love seeing them. And then dive into it, show you how I do it. I'll probably go to a coffee shop and get out of this shithole apartment. But I wanted to show you real quick. This is where the magic happens. Let me do this. There we go. All right, very excited. Ordered it from Miller Pads and Paper on Amazon. Woo! Look at that. There's nothing in there. Blank pages. Oh, it's beautiful. This is the one I use. I'll go into it. Everything you need to know about journaling in this video. By the way, this thing, in case you're wondering, right there, it's $10. It's a sketchbook, and it is 110 sheets. Amazon. Just Google like Canson sketchbook. This one is the 11 by 8.5 inch if you wanted to get the exact same one. All right, guys, let's dive into it. And if you call in the next 15 minutes, I'll double your order and throw in a free edition of Springboard, launching your personal search for success. What up, dudes? Clark. This is the how-to journal entry or infomercial. So let me show you real quick how we journal. But first, I want to do three things. I want to start with the why, the what, then the how. 1, 2, 3. I want to show you those first two, the why and the what. Why journal? Why does this matter to you watching this video right now? If I'm going to go into 10 minutes, why should you watch the whole 10 minutes? Hands down, journaling is the number one thing I've done, the number one tool for expanding my human consciousness, for developing as a human being. More so than seminars, more so than nutrition, more so than exercise, more so than books, than speaking, than talking, it's journaling. Okay? Why do we journal? It's because it's the one thing, put simply, that if my house was burning down, I would run into, and first thing I would do is grab my current journal, right? And then I'd probably go back in, try and grab the other two. And then I'd probably grab my cat because, you know, he's kind of high up there. So journaling, I want to go into kind of what it is and really what it's not. But, I mean, I can't convince you enough how many insights I've had in my own personal life from just putting a pen to paper. There's something magical that happens when you take these guys in different colors and you dive into it. You know, we're so used to this kind of ADD society. Some of you can't even watch this whole video without skipping through it. There's something that happens when we are inundated with information but starving for knowledge and wisdom. We get text messages throughout the day. We're checking our Twitter feeds. We're liking photos on Instagram, wondering how many people like our photos. It's where we get our self-worth. We're skipping to 50 videos on YouTube before sitting through each one. Our attention spans are going everywhere. Advertisers are trying to get into your head. They make millions of dollars doing it. When are you going to stop and really take time to reflect on yourself and what you've done this year? I mentioned it in another video, you know. Let's just call it out of the 100% of people that set New Year's resolutions, 92 fail by February, right? Most of the people aren't going to the gym in February. Most of the people that set goals don't follow through. Why is that? I believe it's because the distractions come and we don't really concentrate on one thing. Long-winded answer, journaling is how you concentrate on that one thing. Journaling is where you are today and expanding yourself based on your successes. So that's kind of the why. I can't emphasize this enough. It's something you choose to do or you don't. And if you don't choose to do it, it's not for you. That's fine. What is journaling? This is the big question, okay? So if I sold you on the why, let's get into the what, and then I'll show you the how. What is journaling? Well, I think one of the best ways to go about this is to kind of shatter some misbeliefs about journaling, some misconceptions, rather. You know, it's almost stigmatized, or it has a dirty word, a dirty connotation when you think of journal. What it is not. We think of a diary, right? Or something where we write, a 13-year-old girl would write, you know, I saw this boy, I kissed this dude, and we hide it under our bed hoping our older brother doesn't find it. Tuck it in our mattress, right? Or we write down our, it's like a mini blog of really who gives a fuck. But journaling isn't that at all. In fact, it's really the opposite. There's two kinds of journals that I, in my years of doing this, have come to realize exist. And what are they? Well, the first one is more of a log. This is a stream of consciousness. This is a daily entry style journal. This is something that I've never done. I like the second kind I'll get to. But this is very useful if you do daily entries or you just free write and you date them and you can look back. It's a narrative. People do it when they're traveling. Gave my brother one of these mini journals. He went to Europe and did it every day, and now he's writing it up and loved it. But the second kind is what I'm big on. So the first kind is a log. The second kind is what I'm about to show you here in this video. It's the best book you've ever read. That's it. That's the second kind. I don't know how an elegant way to put it besides the best book you've ever read. And the thing is, you're writing it, you're reading it, and it's for you. Now, every single great person you hear of in history, they journaled. Leonardo da Vinci sold his, or he didn't personally sell, but Bill Gates bought 8 pages of Leonardo da Vinci's journal for, I think it was in the hundreds of millions of dollars. You can look it up. He scanned them and they're online now for the general public. But these things are so valuable that everyone before us knew about them and we just forgot about it. They were creating the best book they ever read. All their insights were in one place, logged down. I'm going to show you how to do that. But basically, the best book you've ever read starts with gathering your information that matters to you. To Jake, to Sally, to Mary, to Brian, to Dustin, whoever the heck is watching this video, it's your book. I personally take books, which I'll show you, and I go through and I highlight them and I annotate them and then I distill it into, 200 or so pages. And over the years I've gathered that, and I can, instead of reading the entire book again, I can go through and pick out stuff from Way of the Superior Man and realize, number 23, it really stood out to me. Because there's no one out there who knows you better than you, who knows what you like better than you. It's like trying to get your friend to cook you your favorite meal. You can tell them what your favorite meal is, you can tell them how you like to prepare it, but ultimately you know your style, you know exactly what you want, and that's where you get it. So I think I've kind of dived into the why and the what. I really am excited to show you guys the how. This is something a lot of you have been asking for in every single video, and it's something I kind of put off, and I'll get to it. So I'm finally getting to it, and I'm going to show you right now, diving in to how we journal. So hopefully you're on board, hopefully you're still with me, and let's get into the nitty-gritties of how you can rock 2015 and beyond, make it your best year ever, and develop as a human being. Okay, here we go. So here you see my three friends. This I mentioned in the intro is my favorite journal of all time. It's the Pentalic Sketchbook. Now, let me open it up real quick. Before I get into kind of dividing it into sections, you can see it's all blank. That is money right there. Why is it blank? Well, I believe that the lines kind of stifle creativity, and that you should be able to write wherever the heck you want. If you want to write sideways, do it. If you want to write diagonal, do it. If you want to write in circles, do it. If you want to sketch something, do it. Doesn't matter. There's no lines there. Anyway, back to it. This guy is the Pentalic little one, and this is the first journal I ever had, and filled it up in 2012, 13. I'm not too sure what it is. But you can see it's really full with things like art. It wasn't organized at all, and just creations and all these different things I was going through. I would recommend going bigger than this. I'm gonna show you how I actually journal. So what I have here is the old journal from 2014 and my new journal from 2015. Okay. And so the first thing I do when I get a new journal is I start it on the new year. And this will be carried with me all year wherever I go. Clearly it's in better condition than this one has been. So I like to choose 5 or 6 sections that really resonate with me. Now, they're pretty consistent. With this, I was not organized. I was scatterbrained. Anything goes. But I found when I really redid this, that dividing it up into sections helped a ton, because there I would have all my stuff in one section. For instance, this, where is it? Not really adding to it. Okay, here we go. That's a book note. Gratitude. Right here, this is the gratitude section. For the next 10 or so pages, it's all going to be about what I'm grateful for. What I do for this one, this is my new one. Okay? Now, I blocked out my number because some of you in previous videos found my number and actually gave me a phone call, which is fine. I don't really care, but it's just something, no offense, I don't want everyone doing watching this video. A little creepy, guys. Okay, so first thing you do is put your name, address in case this is lost. Remember, this is your book. If your building is burning down, this is the first thing you are going to grab. So you have your journal, wrote your name, you're ready to divide it into sections. These guys, Pilot G2 pens. Get a 4-pack, it comes with green. Where the hell is my green? I lost it. It's the only way you can get green. Send me some green pens. These are the best pens I've ever found. Love them. People always look at me when I'm journaling in a coffee shop and they say, you're so OCD. Why do you write in pens? Why do you highlight every book? Why do you take notes? It's because life is in color, and your journal should be too. Right? Okay, without getting weird here. First section is book notes. Remember, these are just my 5 or 6 sections. You can do whatever the hell you want. It's your journal. You don't have to copy me, but this is a good place to start if this is your first time journaling. So what I'm going to do in this section is any book I find, I'm going to go through. And when I read it, I highlight the things I want to reread. I'll show you. For instance, I just read my first book of the year that I'm going to put in here is The Power of Habit, Why We Do What We Do in Life and Business. Great, great book. Bought it in an airport the first of the year, and I finished it about a week ago. So you can see I read the whole thing. You don't have to read the whole thing of a book if it sucks. Don't feel the need to finish something. That's stupid. It's a waste of time. And let's just say right here, I was reading it about the habit loop, and rewards can range from food or drugs that cause physical sensations, emotional payoffs such as feelings of pride, accompany praise, congratulations. Habits are powerful but delicate. So for some reason that stood out to me, and if I reread all this stuff in yellow and I like it, I'll go through and underline it. And it's always the stuff that I put stars next to or underline that makes it into the journal, because then I can go back and so like that, I started that. And so yeah, that's going to be the first one. For instance, this one, Springboard, which is a really good one, actually got this recommendation off of Amazon review. Someone said this one book sucked and this book was better under the Amazon reviews, so I went for it and I read it, and actually turned up being a kick-ass book I had never heard of. But this, clearly I wrote in here, and I underlined a section. So basically in the books, when they give you ideas or stuff to work on or anything like that, you should really take that into consideration, and that's what your journal's for. It's a workbook. Because how often do we read books and they tell us to do something and we don't do it? Or how often do we watch these videos and I yell at you or give you ideas and we just click on to the next video or say we're going to do it tomorrow? Myself included, that's what I do. And having something to write it all in really holds you accountable. Back to you. So Springboard. This was a chapter on your unique strengths, and I've taken several strength tests, which I've gone into. And at the end, I just wrote them all out and said pretty much like, where do all of these integrate, and how can I use those in service to the world? So I did the Strengths Finder, the Martin Seligman one, which is my all-time favorite strengths test. Just did a video on that. Check it out. And then I've done this book, which gave me these. And you know what? After journaling on these, it really kind of refocused and reframed what I wanted to do in 2015 and making these videos and where I want to go with this business and what I want to do in life in terms of travel and giving and contributing. So before I ramble on, you get the idea. Let me show you an example. Let's go into my old book. First page, real quick. I just use it as the biggest things. For example, if I find something in a seminar or a teacher or a book that's underlined and asterisked and quoted, and something that I would tweet, or something that I can instantly go to and feel uplifted, inspired, elevated by, that goes in the front right there. So for instance, 32,850, that is the number of days you have if you made it to 90 years old. Basically meaning that we think that life is forever, but it's only 32,850 days if you're lucky to make it to 90. And if you're 23 right now, cut that number by a third, or, if you're 30, a third, or wherever it goes. For some reason, that really stands out to me. It's a lot less than I thought we had, and maybe it is for you too. Or for instance, what one can be, one must be, for Abraham Maslow. Basically meaning that, if you are self-actualizing in life, that's the best thing ever. And that's what you have to do. There's no other choice. Top 5 regrets of the dying, where the nurse studied thousands of terminally ill patients and asked them what they regret in life, and these were their top 5. I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself. Wish I hadn't worked so hard. Wish I had courage to express my feelings. Wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. Wish I had let myself be happier. Again, those really stand out to me. I don't know about you, but if I interviewed thousands of dying people, I'd want to know what they thought they missed in life, or even what they were grateful for, but what they could have done better, and where can I learn from not their mistakes, but their, I guess, regrets on their dying deathbed. And every time I read that, man, it's an eye opener. So this is getting a little nostalgic. I'm gonna get into the book notes and show you back to journaling and how to do it. But yeah, it's just, even right now when I'm reading the stuff, I'm like, man, gotta incorporate that, or gotta read that again. So I'll come back to this. But anyway, where was I? Book notes right here, chapter. So Osho, of Love and Freedom and Aloneness. I read his book, basically journaled on some big ideas. 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. Went into that one. Philosophy books, Sex at Dawn, Springboard right there, Good to Great, Way of the Superior Man, Happiness Hypothesis, best books ever, The Prosperous Coach, Leonardo da Vinci, How to Influence and Influence People. You get the idea. Okay, moving on, next section. Section 1 is book notes. Section 2, gratitude journal. What I like to do in this guy is break it up into 5 things you're grateful for that day, or that week, or whatever. Basically, the research on this is coming out of universities, and they're finding out, how do we take people in the psychology field and make them better? We've gotten really good at taking the depressed people and making them not depressed, right? Bringing them back to baseline. But where do we take the baseline folks and make them excel, make them the thriving 10%? How can you improve yourself from not feeling like shit to feeling better, but from feeling better to feeling awesome? How do you get there? Where does that come into play? People such as Martin Seligman have been studying that over the years, and they've found that one of the best things in the world is gratitude. They took 3 groups of people, and they had them, I think one group was didn't do anything, right? The case study. One group wrote down, I think, like a journal of what they could do better, and I'm butchering this study. Basically, one group wrote a gratitude journal of just once a week, like every Sunday, 5 things they were grateful for. The only constraint was they had to really go into those and think about them and let gratitude fill their soul, or fill themselves up. And what they found was that there was a significant increase in the people who kept a gratitude journal. Even as something as once a week, 5 things you're grateful for one time a week can have significant double-digit numbers, percentage-wise, on your overall happiness. Now, I'm not speaking from a study that I haven't applied in my life. When I was in Hawaii, every single day, I wrote down 5 things I was grateful for. I can remember doing that every day, and feeling happier than I had felt in a long time. And you notice yourself when you incline your mind for joy like that, throughout the day you'll be seeing things and being like, gotta remember that for my gratitude journal later, or I need to work on that more, or anything else along those lines. So if gratitude is something you've never experienced or experimented with, then I would go into that. And the battery's gonna die, so I'll get this going faster. Gratitude's the second section, and I have videos on this channel all about that. I'd recommend you get there and start practicing that. Okay, what's the next section? This is a new section I got called Brain Dump. Basically, this is, remember I was talking about the two styles of journaling. This is that first style of kind of like a log, but this is where if you're feeling depressed or down or out of it, you're just having one of those days, this is the uncensored section of your journal. You can rant, you can rave, you can cuss, you can tear it up, you can rip it up, it doesn't matter. This is where you take it all out. And you might be wondering, why would you want that in the best book you've ever read? Because the best book you've ever read, guys, has highs, it has lows. It doesn't just try and be this don't worry, be happy thing in life. I think that's a dangerous place to be in. Or you don't just try to think yourself better out of something. No, I feel like you should be able to feel the lows of life and feel the emotions and feel what's going on and really take it out. I always say that what you don't express, you repress. So if it's not coming out here, it's coming out later, one way or another. You're going to take it out on a loved one, or you're going to take it out on yourself and build it up, or you're going to, it's going to manifest itself somewhere else. And that's not fair to those around you that you love. I've noticed when I haven't expressed myself fully or things are pissing me off over a long period of time, I lash out at those around me. And that's a dangerous place to be in because it ruins relationships. So this is a really important section. This is where you take out your mental clutter. This is where you express it so you don't repress it. Brain dump, that's a new section for me this year, for sure. It's a small one too, because I don't really plan on having tons of that. But freedom, this is the next section, section 3. This is artwork. This is expression. This is, let me show you real quick in this journal. Let me find it for you. Bear with me. Okay, so freedom. This past section, I drew this thing online, like a raven, or I did this cool artwork I saw, or I did right here, like a mind map, or I did like an elephant, or I did the tree of life, or I did, just kind of something I was feeling, arts and crafts, or I did, just art. Freedom is anything you want. Again, these are my sections. You don't have to use them. Moving on. Is that the next one? Yes, it is. I give myself about 10, 15 pages on each section. Video notes, online stuff. Any video I see, any seminar, any coaching call, this is where it goes. This always is really jam-packed, full of good stuff, and that's why it's one of the biggest sections. Okay, and then the last section I have, you all, is business. What do I want to create this year? What are my goals? How do I get those? What do I want to do with the podcast? What do I want to do with the YouTube channel? What do I want to do online with my blog? This is the business section. This is where it all goes. And so I'm excited to fill that up. Last thing you do is stamp it with the year and your name, whatever you want to do. There you go, guys. My journal in about 25 minutes, kind of an insight of one of my favorite things that I do in life. And I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form. In fact, one of the biggest things I realize is when I go back through my old journals, and it's a humbling experience. You realize the times where you were struggling in life, or the times you were at the highest in life, or your reflections, or the things you've gotten out of books. And you realize how much you still have to incorporate into your life and where you're not showing up fully. Journals, you can't BS it. If I could give you one piece of advice to leave you with, I would say when it comes to journaling, don't censor yourself. Enjoy it. Give yourself some slack, but don't go easy on yourself. Say things as they are, but not worse than they are. If you're doing a brain dump, go into it fully, express it, allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling. Go back and edit it maybe when you're having a better day or you're not feeling like that anymore. Long story short, do it however you want to do it. There's no right way to journal. There's no wrong way to journal. Okay? This is about you and what you need to do in your life to fill yourself up, really. So, best of luck. Control your life, don't let life control you. I'm trying to think here, any closing words. I'm just excited. I am. This is something I'm passionate about. So, best of luck to you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions or you want me to go over something more, I'm happy to help. Let me know how this worked out for you and where your journals go, or tweet me a photo or tag me in an Instagram post or something. All right, guys, stop settling, start living.